action or something. Yeah.
I'm Tori Milner, and I'm from the Iyengar Yoga Association of Greater New York here with Uday.
And I'm Susan Elena Esquivel from the Iyengar Yoga Center of Western Massachusetts.
I'm James Murphy from New York as well.
And we're so pleased to be here with Uday. And
Thank you. I thought I was going to introduce. I'm
introduce yourself.
And I'm happy to be with all these wonderful practitioners over here.
Yes, yeah.
Uday, I have some questions for you.
Oh, sure.
I'm wondering, you're raised in the environment of learning yoga from the masters at the source,
for that.
right? And then you're kind of thrown into this Western environment. And I just wonder if we could hear a little bit more about how you dealt with making that transition from being a learner and a student who then happens to start teaching at RIMYI to being a teacher of Western students, and just what a shock that must have been, or what a transition that must have been, because I think we're a real different flavor. I mean, I remember the first time I went to Pune, and just observing a class, probably because I didn't feel well, and just seeing the variety of what was there, people from the West and then the local people, and realizing, wow, it's just, there's so many things going on here, and yet everybody's taking it because it's coming from Iyengar, or it's coming from Iti, or it's coming from Prashant.
Yeah.
And so then here we are out in the world, and we have that passion and we have that influence, and yet people aren't as keen as we find ourselves to be. So maybe can you just talk a little bit more about
Sure. So
there that you want to talk about?
yeah, means it has been an interesting journey, and as I look back on those initial years, I can now it's interesting to have that experience, because as you rightly said, at the institute, these masters were there. So whoever approached the institute, whoever came for the classes, they came prepared. They came with that reverence.
Sometimes they sometimes they were prepared. But yes.
Yeah, there definitely were exceptions. Yeah, I agree. But generally the people were prepared, and people were coming with that reverence to the place and to these teachers. And growing up in that space and observing how things were and how people would queue, they still queue for those admissions on the day the admissions open up, and with that kind of setup where the space is a problem, like limitation of space, and that's how the admissions had to be stopped at a particular time. So having that kind of environment to practice and then to teach at that environment, in that place, so where we didn't have to bother about paying the rent for the place or advertising our classes, encouraging students to come. It was all available. So you have to just stand, you have to get prepared and be in front and teach. And when I came over here, so I first got a chance to teach at the Sarva studio, which was run by Sheila Haswell over here. And again, for that workshop, the practitioners who came along were again experienced Iyengar Yoga practitioners. So to some extent, it was a very relatable experience, because even though there are different places and different countries, there is still this uniform thing which we can experience. Means we can identify an Iyengar Yoga practitioner maybe from any part of the world. So that was not alien or different like that. But when I started going, when I was introduced by a teacher, local teacher, to take over a regular class, which was run by some other teacher with I don't know, some different school, the different background. But that teacher was shifting, migrating, or moving to different place, and wanted to hand over her students to another teacher. And it so happened that I was here and I was looking for classes. There it was an interesting experience. I've shared this before, because the very first class when I went to teach and we started, initially I was given a list of asanas, and they've been practicing with the teacher for 3-4 years, and with all that, with the long list of asanas which they had done, I was a little nervous and anxious, because I'm stepping into somebody else's shoe. And if you've had a teacher for these many years, you obviously have that attachment with the teacher. And then someone coming and replacing that teacher is definitely not, from the student's perspective, you're not really that excited about it. So I was nervous about stepping into this person's place over there. But immediately I could see what was there, and I said, okay, I'm glad that there is so much more that I can do. It's not what I was anticipating. So part of me was instantly I felt that relief that, okay, I can do much more with these students. And then we started with standing poses, and back in the right corner, there was a lady standing as I was conducting Trikonasana. And I went and I asked her what happened. Maybe I was not clear. Maybe, of course, my English, which has a strong whatever Indian accent, not clear. I thought maybe I'll ask her. I said, anything wrong? Anything problem over there? She said, no, I'm fine. And I said, okay. And I was conducting the class, come up on the other side. She is still standing just upright and staying there. I was clueless what to do. I went again and I asked her, is there any problem? Is something hurting? Do you have any discomfort? No, I'm fine. And I asked them, why aren't you doing this? I don't like to bend sideways. I didn't know how to react to this. What? So I was.
What did you do?
Stunned. I was stunned. Means for literally 4-5 seconds, I didn't know what to do, and part of me was already like prepared to say, "What do you mean by I don't like to bend sideways? Then what do you want me to do? Put a massage table? Blah blah blah." Like, but I just pulled myself away from that place, and I went on instructing, repeat another attempt of Trikonasana. I was literally gathering myself there, because this was a big shock.
Yeah.
How can a student say that I don't like to do this? And imagine, like, of course, you all have been to Pune Institute. You have seen these masters, and how weird and how absurd it would have been, someone coming and saying, no, I don't like to do this.
Well, now you know what it's like for us every day.
Exactly. The other day I was telling someone, so after coming here, it has been an eye-opener of a different kind, where I can see what are the hardships the teachers around over here have to undergo. It's not again, like being in Pune, I'm talking about myself. I used to see, like, every month there is a newer lot of teachers coming, some teachers coming regularly. So it's a regular affair over there that new group of teachers keep coming. But what are the hardships and sacrifices behind that? I got to realize it. I'm not saying that nobody knew, but I'm sure they must be aware over there. But for me, it was an eye opener in that sense as well.
Did it change your perspective? I mean, did it change your approach to some degree, or influence your?
Did you get this woman to go sideways ever? Did she ever bend sideways? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
Or did you leave her going front and back?
Did you win her over, Uday?
And that exactly that. So that was one of the most initial inspiring experience. So as that happened, I just pulled myself out and I thought, okay, I can obviously react and be rude to her and just
You learned that. You learned how to do that. You got good.
Went out whatever my feelings were immediately because of what she said. And then I said, okay, that may happen because I'm in this situation, in this position as a teacher. I could perhaps say that. But what is going to happen? Maybe she will just walk out right away. Or even if she stays, I don't think she'll come back next week. I said, fine. If she doesn't want to bend sideways, I don't care. As in, for that class, I said, she doesn't exist. And if she's not ready to listen to me, of course, that ego stuff, it literally kind of jolted my ego there. So I said, okay. I went on with the class and I thought, okay, let's do this. So as this group was new to Iyengar Yoga, I started talking about instructions and getting them to feel what is happening. Okay, so do this, tuck the buttock like this and see what is happening to your back. Does it feel like this? Yes. Roll like this. Do you feel firm? Do you feel strong? Yes. All of those things. So started getting those answers from them. Next week, again, similarly, went on the similar set of asanas with those things, same instructions, similar work, asking them whether, do you feel the change from last week? Do you see it's coming better? And this, yes, yes. And those answers kept coming. I didn't bother her. She was again standing that second week also. She did come, which was good. And she continued to stand. I said, it's fine. As these answers kept coming, third week when we started, she went into the class. And that's where, in my mind, it gave a different satisfaction that I'm glad, because I could have been rude and that person would have gone out saying, yes, these Iyengar Yoga teachers are quite rude. And I had this one fellow which was so rude to me. But she came and she started doing it. Then I went, of course, and gave her a break and asked her that you can do it closer to the wall and this should be better, and just encouraged a little more. And I'm so happy, or rather proud to say that for that year and a half which I was teaching that class before I moved back to Pune, she was quite regular. And when we had the last class, a small get together, that's when she came forward, and she was not a talkative person at all. But during that last get together, she came forward and she said that I've been practicing for 15 years and this last year and a half has been quite transformative for me. I've learned so much and I've practiced and benefited, experienced the changes. So thank you for that. And that was quite encouraging for me. I feel, so I literally said like, okay, pat yourself for this, or not turning away that person.
Because sometimes you affect people that seem like you're not affecting them at the most. You know, the people that come right up to you, but then there's those people that are, you think, oh God, they're not getting anything from this, but then they're the ones that actually are most appreciative, and sometimes most they're getting the most out of it. And it looks, but on the outside, it seems like they're just, you know, they're not really there, but it's so important for them. And sometimes that doesn't always come across.
True, and so true, and that's what. So over the years, I think to answer Tori's question is, it has changed. I think it has made me a bit more understanding or compassionate about, like, everyone does come with their own background, their own whatever journey they've had so far. They've made an effort to come to your class. So I should respect that. Yes, if they are disruptive to others, of course, I take care of that. I don't, like, if you have to continue going on and on about something, let's talk separately. Let me just go conduct this class and let me just go through whatever we are doing. We can deal with it separately. So I don't let them overpower or overtake the whole class. But I think the change which I've experienced in myself is, anyways, I was not it doesn't come to me naturally to be rude or harsh. I might just shut out of the way I did with that lady. I just got myself away from her. But it has still, I think, gotten me a bit more understanding or compassionate, trying to find out like what is the thing? Why are you saying this? Why are you acting like this?
Right.
Let me know more about it. So that has been a change. I think it has changed me like that.